Hey, what's up? Ian here, and I'm sure you guys have been hearing some rumors about this new Project Red from Crinacle, and you're wondering what IEM it is and when it's going to come out. Well, the wait is finally over and the truth is out. Well, no pun intended, but this is the Truth Ear Zero Red from Crinacle. Thank you so much for giving us yet another great sounding IEM, and in fact, it's actually the version 2 of the original Truth Ear Zero, which I have right here. So if you guys haven't watched this video, I will leave it somewhere up here so you guys can go and watch. Alright, so the red is retail price is $55 and it's available on Shenzhen Audio's website. So if you guys are interested, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. And if you might have guessed, this video is sponsored by Shenzhen Audio, so please help me support them so that they can support me. Alright, so in this video, I'll quickly go through the accessories, in fact the same, and then I'll compare the sound difference between the original and the red, and I'll compare with some other IEMs, and I'll conclude whether this red is worth your $55 or not. Right, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into the accessory. Well, the box is the same and the Shiroi is the same. It's just that now she looks a bit more matured lah. It's been almost a year anyway. At the back, you do get some specs. It's the same dual dynamic driver. Sensitivity is 117.5, so it's a little bit different. Impedance is 17.5 ohms, and the frequency range is 12 to 40,500. Okay, and you see two lines here on the graph. That's because there's a bass boost with an adapter, which I'll show you later. Okay, and that's it for the box. On the inside, you'll find the same thing, same standee of Shiroi, and well, she looks more mature now. Same pouch, alright, same pouch, no difference there. And of course, same ear tips, alright, no difference there as well. And also the cable is the same, right, no difference in the cable. The only difference here is this adapter which I mentioned earlier, and this is the bass boost adapter lah. So if you use this adapter, you'll get a bit more bass shelf when you're listening to your music, but you just want Red's original tuning, then just unplug the adapter. Okay, so that's for the accessories. Now let's talk about the sound difference. In terms of technical, alright, technical difference, in fact I don't hear much technical difference. It's both still the same great dual dynamic driver with the great sound stage, and the imaging and sound separation is fantastic on both of them. Well, the only difference maybe I would say, you know, is a bit more resolute on the red lah. This may be placebo, but yeah, it's just a bit more lah. Okay, so that's the technical performance of the two. Now let's talk about tone and timbre. Tone and timbre, there's a difference. Okay, for the red, it sounds a bit more musical, a bit warmer as well, and overall tonal balance sounds better on the red as compared to the original, and more musical on the red as well lah. So that's the tonal difference between these two, and I would prefer the tone and timbre on the new red as compared to the original. Okay, now let's talk about the sound signature. Let me show you my graph. There's a difference, okay? So this is the line or the tuning of the red. Okay, I mean I call it secret because you know at that time I can't reveal it to you guys, so it's called secret. And then with the adapter, right, let me just show you. Okay, this is secret 2. Okay, so secret 2 is with the adapter. So you can see here, right, there is a boost in the bass, right, all the way to the mids. Okay, so yeah, if with the adapter, this is what you get lah. But I would prefer, well, I mean, to my listening preference, I prefer listening to the red without the adapter. I like it a more balanced listening experience. Okay, so this is the new red tuning. Now let's compare it with the original Zero. Okay, so this is the original Zero. Let me recolor this. So the green line is the original Zero and the blue line is the red. So what I hear in terms of the difference is the improvement in the sub bass, the mid bass, and the treble. Treble, I would say, is a bit more tamed, bit more smoother as compared to the original, and less bright and energetic as the original. Alright, so that's what I hear in terms of the difference. Now in terms of sub bass, right, there is an improvement in terms of the extension, the resonance, and it sounds more warm and more musical on the red as compared to the original. And as you can see, right, the original has got a bit more rolled off sub bass. So yeah, it sounds better on the red in terms of the sub bass. And then for the mid bass, it's also improved. There's no more mid bass tuck, as you can see on the original. So now the mid bass on the red will sound smoother, and it transits to the mids a bit more naturally. So yeah, in terms of the mid bass is much better on the red, if you ask me. And then for the mids is a bit of a mixed bag for me, because there's, you know, it actually transits to the treble, and for that the treble is also a bit affected by the mids lah. Okay, so basically what I hear is that my musical instruments and my vocals, right, they sound smoother, yes, no doubt, they sound warmer, more natural, but in terms of the brightness, energy, and overall engagement of my instruments, my musical instruments and the vocals, they sound a little bit more laid back, a little bit more smooth. Okay, so it depends on your listening preference. If you want something more smooth, then the red will sound much better. But if you want something more energetic, more bite, and more engagement, then it's the original, still the original lah. But in terms of tonal balance and how natural it sounds, the red sounds more natural as compared to the original lah. Okay, so that's for the mids. And then for the treble, as I mentioned, right, the original will have a bit more energy, a bit more bite, a bit more presence for the treble. So my cymbal strikes, hi-hats, snares, claps, shakers and all that, they sound a bit more energetic. Even female vocal sounds a bit more energetic on the original. For the red, it sounds more natural, a bit more laid back, a bit more musical, a bit smoother as well as compared to the original. Okay, for the air and the presence and the overall brightness or darkness of the treble, I would say the original sounds brighter, a bit more edgy as compared to the red. Red sounds smoother lah, a bit more easier and a bit more tolerable in terms of the treble, and better listening experience, longer listening experience as compared to the original. The air is, I think the red has got a bit more naturalness in the roll-off as compared to the original. As you can see here, the dip here is a bit more natural. It doesn't sound as edgy, as airy, and a bit it's a bit too airy for the original as compared to the red. For me, it's more natural sounding on the red as compared to the original. Okay, for the air. Alright, so that's the overall difference between the two. And if you ask me, right, in terms of the red, it sounds more musical and yeah, a bit warmer sounding as compared to the original lah. Not much difference lah, but I say in terms of the refinement of the tuning, the red has got a more refined tuned IEM as compared to the original. Okay, so that's the difference between the original and the red. Now let's compare with some other IEMs that I have here. Now first let's talk about the Warner. So Warner, if you look at the Warner, right, in terms of the graph, it's actually quite similar to the red. In terms of technical performance, the red wins hands down. Wider soundstage, cleaner soundstage, a bit more depth as well. Overall, holographicness of it sounds better on the red lah. Okay, in terms of the tone and timbre, they sound almost the same. It's just that maybe the Warner would sound a bit more lean as compared to the red. Red sounds more natural and more tonally balanced as compared to the Warner. Okay, if you ask me, I'll definitely choose the red. I mean, it's more expensive, but yeah, it gives me a more resolute sound as compared to the Warner. Right, so let's compare next with the Dunu Kima. Now, Dunu Kima again is actually it's more musical. It's more musical on the Dunu Kima. Red would sound much better in terms of technical performance, but overall tonal balance, I would say the Kima sounds warmer and heavier in the note weight. The red sounds more balanced lah. Okay, so I think Kima sounds a bit more fun, not very fun, but it's a bit more fun than the red. Red also sounds quite fun also, if you ask me, right? But in terms of technical performance is definitely the red for me. So yeah, that's the difference. Now next is the legato. Now if you ask me, right, this is targeted at different people, different types of people. This is more for bass heads, this is more for general listeners, and if you ask me if I'm a bass head, I'll definitely go for legato of course. But in terms of technical performance, these two are quite equal. I would say soundstage and well, the overall resolution, they sound almost the same. I think maybe the red has got a bit of the edge in terms of the overall technical performance. But in terms of tonality and sound signature, you know, it depends on what your preference is. If you want more bass, if you like bass, it's definitely the legato. If you want something more balanced, something more, adaptable to most genre music, then the red. Okay, it depends on what you like to listen to. Okay, so that's for the legato. And then last but not least, this is the HPB Blonde Z300. Now the Blonde Z300, I would say there's more bass. Again, it's more fun. And also technical wise, it's nothing compared to the red, right? Red has definitely got more technical performance as compared to the Z300. It's not a fair comparison, like, if you ask me, and the price is also very different. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the overall listening experience, is again a different market, a different type of listening experience, and it depends on what your preference is. You want bass, but if you don't want too much and you want some fun, then maybe the Z300. But if you want more balance and something more easy to listen to, then the red. But the Z300, one thing I want to mention, is also quite a dark treble. In fact, quite similar to the red. Very easy to listen to. You can listen to it for quite a long time, and you won't get any fatigue listening to it. So both of them, they sound quite okay in terms of the treble region. It's just that the Z300 has got more bass boost lah, right? But if you want more bass, then there is this adapter here, so it's actually pretty good. So there's a lot of advantage here. You have your technical advantage and also your fun factor in this red. Okay, right, so that concludes my overall comparison with the other brands. Now let's conclude whether this is worth your $55. And well, if you think about it, $55 is not the most expensive, and it's also not the cheapest lah, right? And it's also not gonna break your bank. Okay, so if you ask me, yeah, it's a good side grade, it's not a good upgrade. Definitely if you own the original Zero, you will want to get this because the tuning is much more refined. And if you own other IEMs, or you choosing which one to get, definitely get the red, because you know it's got more of a tonal balance. It's more adaptable to most genre. You can listen to a lot of genre of music on this red, and if you want more bass, more fun, you can add in the adapter, so you get more bass and more fun lah. Right, so yeah, I truly recommend this red. Right, so that concludes my overall impression and review for this Truth Zero Red. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.